This is Black Views, bringing you the Black News.
It's been more than 2 weeks since a protest morphed into a violent riot at the U.S. Capitol, leaving 5 people dead.
Now a Central Texas man is facing charges for his involvement in the protest. 25 News reporter Jack Allen has more details.
Well, this afternoon, Christopher Grider, the owner of Kissing Tree Vineyards here in Bruceville, Eddy, surrendered to FBI agents down in Austin because of this, a 14-page arrest warrant detailing his role in storming the Capitol a couple weeks ago. Grider is being charged with knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building without lawful authority, destruction of government property, violent entry, and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds.
The FBI are going after these people. They're going after them for simple charges, and they're going after them for bad charges.
Trent Lofton is a well-known Texas defense attorney not connected to the case. He says the evidence against Grider is strong.
A lot of it's going to go on what was going on beside him, behind him, what he knew. The government's going to do their diligence and see what did he plan ahead of time.
According to the warrant, he was observed inside the Capitol through several videos from open sources. Law enforcement agents were then able to track his movements through the Capitol by following his yellow "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Video footage also showed him trying to push open the doors leading to the House chamber.
Individuals that were in the chambers, individuals that were near major crimes that are happening, I think that they're probably going to be pursuing some more charges and try to make more examples out of those individuals.
It was around that time when an officer shot and killed another protester, later identified as Ashley Babbitt, within feet of where Grider was. Agents were first alerted to Grider's role after he did a local news interview where he admitted to entering the Capitol.
It makes it an uphill battle for anybody that's charged when you've got that evidence that's that glaring at you.
Grider will have a meeting in front of a U.S. magistrate judge tomorrow morning where he will learn his charges and whether bail will be set. Lofton says there's a chance more charges could be added in the future. So far, the U.S. Justice Department has filed charges against more than 100 people in relations to the events at the Capitol. Reporting in McLennan County, Jack Allen, 25 News.
Jack, thank you. Now, the FBI says it's currently handling several hundred investigations surrounding the events at the U.S. Capitol. They even have a list of suspects' photos online. Anyone with information is asked to call the FBI.
Now to a developing story tonight. Prosecutors announced new charges for 4 suspects in the Capitol riots. Authorities in several states arrested Proud Boys leader Joe Biggs, Houston police officer Tam Din Pham, Florida Deputy Peter Haneen, and Riley Williams, all for their alleged involvement in the insurrection. Investigators in Florida took Joe Biggs into custody yesterday. He's charged with 3 crimes, including obstructing an official proceeding before Congress. Court documents accuse him of clashing with police there on the steps of the Capitol. Prosecutors say he used the Parler app to instruct rioters to dress in all black to resemble members of the far-left group Antifa. According to the FBI, a Houston police officer told agents he entered the Capitol on the day of those riots. A criminal complaint says Tam Din Pham took pictures and videos inside the building. Agents are now reviewing those images. Pham is charged with knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building without lawful authority, also charged with violent entry. Investigators in Florida arrested the now suspended sheriff's deputy for allegedly sending threatening messages to another deputy on the night of the riot. They say Peter Haneen said, quote, "Shoot the feds, I'll kill them all," end quote. He's now out of jail on bond. Meantime, a judge in Pennsylvania released this woman from jail into the custody of her mother today. Riley Williams is accused of helping to steal House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's laptop. Williams is now charged with theft, obstruction, trespassing, violent entry, and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. She's due in federal court.
Really, the crux of the matter is whether or not he understood that he was not supposed to be at the location where he was at the time, or whether or not he believed it was permissible for him to be there. Mr. Pham has never kept anything back from the government. The minute the government asked for information, he provided his phone, he provided answers to their questions. We weren't surprised at all to see the pictures. Again, you know, the real question is whether or not he was allowed to be where he was.
Tonight, a dating and relationship strategist from Haddonfield is the latest person to be arrested in connection with the deadly riot at the Capitol. According to court documents, acquaintances who saw Patrick Stedman's social media posts about what he did that day alerted the FBI. Greg Argos spoke with the man's attorney about the accusations and what's next.
Our knock on the door of this Haddonfield, New Jersey house.
Is this Patrick Stedman come?
Leading to no response from the person who briefly opened it. But earlier Thursday afternoon, it was a different scene here when Federal Bureau of Investigation agents visited the same home.
It's a daunting experience to have the FBI show up at your house and arrest you.
The house is that of 32-year-old Patrick Stedman. His Twitter account shows he's a dating and relationship coach. It's the same account where the FBI alleges he posted video, pictures, and tweets showing his involvement in the January 6th U.S. Capitol building riots.
He's charged with 2 misdemeanor federal offenses. One is trespassing, and the other is essentially obstructing a governmental function.
Rocco Ciprione is Stedman's attorney and says the evidence against his client does not show him in any violent situations.
What the complaint alleged was that he was present at the Capitol and inside the Capitol building. There were no allegations of violence on his part, no allegations of weapons or force used on his part.
According to the FBI affidavit, Stedman posted multiple videos and pictures showing him inside the Capitol building that afternoon, including a tweet stating, quote, highly recommend all patriots come to D.C. on the 6th. This will be a turning point for our nation. He continues, quote, if you're coming, DM me, assembling a team.
He was there for a peaceful protest, and I think the Twitter accounts that were represented in the affidavit support that.
Stedman's attorney says the government initially wanted his client held without bail, but a judge denied that. Stedman is back at his New Jersey home. His travel is restricted to New Jersey, New York, and Washington, D.C. His next hearing is set for next week via Zoom in Washington, D.C., and he has pled not guilty on all counts. Reporting here in Philadelphia, I'm Greg Argos, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
A business owner here in Dillon has become the first person in Montana to be charged in connection with the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol. According to federal charging documents, 52-year-old Henry Munzer of Dillon faces charges of unlawful entry to restricted building or grounds and disorderly conduct. The affidavit alleges Munzer was among the protesters who forced their way into the U.S. Capitol building while Congress was verifying the Electoral College vote. The FBI alleges Munzer was seen on television news video inside the Capitol and also appeared in a YouTube video where he allegedly admitted to being inside the Capitol. Munzer was arrested on January 18th here in Dillon and detained in Missoula, where he appeared in federal district court there. Munzer, who is the owner of Dillon Appliance Repair Shop, painted a mural on his building last year, which espouses some strong political feelings and some conspiracy theories. The murals on his building certainly created a lot of conversation and controversy among citizens in Dillon.
I appreciate the fact that in the United States we have First Amendment rights and people can put anything they want on their own building, but it's a bad example for Dillon. I don't agree with it at all, and I'd like to see it gone.
Munzer was expected to be released from custody after his hearing Thursday. In Dillon, John Amy, MTN News.
This is Black Views, bringing you the Black News.